open, so I'm gonna just assume that
It's good.
it's good.
Oh,
And if anything, it's kind of like, if there's that many, like, options open, I'm guessing, like, we could just be all in anyways.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Just wanted to come on here real quick. So I'm going to be showing you how to get more clients, get more customers on LinkedIn. So I did make another video previously about how to optimize your profile. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely look at that because that's first and foremost. And really what you're going to be able to do is find B2B customers and just directly target them, put a good message in front of them and see if they're interested in your services or not. So the first step is just linkedin.com. You just go to the regular feed. And after you've optimized your profile, you have a good tagline and you've filled in your experiences, your skills, all those things that are on your profile, you're going to go to the search bar right here. And you're just going to hit enter. And the reason I don't do searches on here is because LinkedIn doesn't always provide the most accurate results. So for example, if I'm looking for an HR recruiter, you can see it, yes, I'm getting some recruiters, but it's not an actual exact match for HR recruiter. So, the beginning might have some more accurate ones, but once you go down the page and you go down the search, there's some ones that are just totally not within what you're trying to search for. So I always leave that blank. So the next step, so the next step is to go to people. And then you're going to go to connections. So the way that LinkedIn works, in case you're not familiar, so you have what are called first, second, and third connections. So first connection is very simple, just like Facebook when you have a friend. That's what a first connection is. So that's when, hey, this is someone I'm already connected with. They've already accepted my request or I've accepted their request. Second connection is similar to Facebook in terms of the mutual friends. So if you are a friend of a friend, basically that's what a second connection is. So if you're able to get anywhere from, I would say 50 to 100 connections right off the bat, you're going to be able to significantly look for and search for more people as opposed to if you have just started LinkedIn. So very beginning, if you just started your profile, just connect with as many people as you can, maybe invite people. I'm pretty sure you can even invite people from your email. So that's a good way to get started. Just invite as many people as you can to connect with you. And third connection is friend of a friend of a friend, basically, or connection of a connection of a connection. So I usually go for second connections. And the reason I do that is just builds trust, shows that you're already connected with people. And it's just a lot easier to start and engage with conversations and for people to, basically just see, hey, we have at least one mutual connection between the two of us. So I hit apply. And then the next part is location. So depending on your services, your products, this is where you're going to choose where you're targeting. So you could do something very, very specific. For example, Philadelphia, like a specific city, or even like a town. LinkedIn doesn't always have every single town. So sometimes you have to play around with it a little bit and just find things that are similar. So for example, if you're one of these towns outside of Philadelphia and it's not showing up, you can just choose Greater Philadelphia and then that way it'll pick it up. So you got to play around with it sometimes. And once you select that, and you could even just do something like United States, something a little bit more broad. So it just really depends on your business. After you do that, you're just going to hit apply. And then the next step and the final step is to just narrow down by who it is that you're targeting in terms of their role, their industry, or even where they work or went to school. So this is actually part of the free plan. So if you do have Sales Navigator, you'll be able to target even further. So for example, for a company, you'll be able to target how many employees they have and other detailed searches. But for, I would say, about 95% of people that use LinkedIn, it's not absolutely necessary and it's really just a waste of money. So what I highly recommend is start doing these things manually and then think about using some systems to automate a lot of this stuff. Second connections, locations, current companies is what you can put here, even past companies if that's something that is relevant to you. There's also what are called industries and services. So this is something that you can play around with. What I always recommend, especially in the beginning, is to only choose maybe one or two, because chances are if you're just doing this and you're pretty new to LinkedIn, you don't have a lot of connections. And if you choose too many of these, it's just going to narrow down the search and you're not going to be able to search for as many people to message and connect with. So yeah, I would only do one at a time. And then schools, actually, there's a strategy that you can use, and in terms of just building that trust. And so if you went to a school, whether that be a college or a high school, you can just plug it into here. So for example, let's say I went to Temple University, I select that, and then I narrow it down even further. I can basically start my conversation as, hey, I saw you were an alumni of Temple, as we both are, and then just kind of start it off that way as well, so that you guys have something that's in common. So that's a good way to kind of build trust up front. And then the other part is the title. So notice how I didn't say you should search by the search bar right here. If you search by the title, LinkedIn will look letter by letter to match whatever you put in here with what is actually on their profile. So this is a much more accurate way of getting in touch with the right person. So you could be something broad like nonprofit, or you could even be more specific, something like a nonprofit CEO or whatever their position is. And then if you want to do multiple ones, you can do like that. And then you can just do what's called a Boolean search. So you can do nonprofit CEO, CTO, CIO, and just different types of nonprofits. There is a lot more to this that I'm not going over, but this is definitely enough to get you started, and just really just getting in front of the right people, and then just continuing, just figuring out a system that's going to work for your business and get people to respond and that are interested in your services. So right after that, you're going to hit connect, you're going to add a note, and then you're going to send a message. So the structure that I use for a lot of the messaging, and yes, I mean, there is some things that are probably specific to you and then you have to think about in terms of your audience and what is your product and service. But very, very simply, I start out by saying their name. I say, hey, this is who we help. In this case, I think we were searching for nonprofits, but I'm just using this as an example. Who you help, how you help. So in our case, we help get booked appointments more consistently through proven systems. So be very, very specific with that. And then also you have what's called a call to action. So in this case, it's, hey, would you like to have a quick chat to see if this is something that can help? So very, very simple. And that's because this is what works and this is what gets people to respond. A lot of people on LinkedIn, they do messages that are these huge, huge paragraphs. And what I've learned from emailing and messaging on, social media, or even just advertising in general, is you want to just keep things as simple as possible, especially nowadays, because, these people on these platforms, they're not going to read something, that takes them more than 2 minutes. They really just want to, the best thing to do is actually have something that's quick to the point and get your message across and sees if they're interested in your products or service. Otherwise, you might be getting on the phone call with the wrong person and you're just essentially wasting a lot of time where you could just be closing deals. And that's what's important in any business. So yeah, try this out. You might have to play around with it a little bit. But basically what you can do is go down the line and just edit accordingly with their name and everything and start messaging people, see how they respond and then just adjust accordingly to that. And then once you figure that out, you're able to put some systems behind that and really just grow your business to the next level. So yeah, if you do about 25 to even 50 a day, in the next couple of days, you're going to see some great results and you're going to get people responding with interest in your product or service. So hopefully this helps, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post it in the comments down below, or just shoot me a message. Me and my partner are more than happy to help you, or even if that means hopping on a quick call to give you some information to help. So hopefully this was helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you later. Thanks.